Welcome to the #1 spot health and wellness practitioners go to double their current income and turn their 10-hour work day into a 10-hour work week. Join us as we dive into the tips, tools, and tech you need to create a life and practice on your own terms. More freedom, flexibility, fulfillment, and of course, funds. It's time to build your online practice. And I'm your host, Michelle Rogers, also known as the Wealthy Woman. Be sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of education, inspiration, and action. Let's get started.
I'm so ready. Yeah. Okay. We're going live.
Yay. All right. Thanks, guys. We were taking a few extra minutes because Anya and I were just catching up because it's been a while since we hung out because we actually got to hang out in real life in Mexico.
We got to squeeze each other in the flesh. Like,
and it was good. It was real good. I miss you.
It was so good. I miss you so much. We ate a lot of stuff together.
We ate a lot.
We mainly ate together.
Mainly. Yeah. You know.
Priorities.
All right. So everybody, this is Anya. She's an alumni from the WELLth Mentorship, and she is a functional health consultant specializing in gut and hormone optimization. Is that the truth?
Correct. Yes, that is the truth. Because I mean, you know, everything starts in the gut, and well, there's other things too. There's other things that I do, but yeah.
Amazing. So, do you want to just like give a little intro, kind of describe like who you are, what you do, and then we can kind of dive in and talk about what it was like before the mentorship, how it helped you, what things are like now. I know you've had some really exciting wins recently, so we could talk about those. But
let's do it. Oh my gosh. Well, where do I start? So, yes, I am a clinical nutritionist by training. And I graduated from a school, so I'm Canadian as well. There's a few Canadians in the mentorship, and it's been so great because connecting with other Canadian practitioners has been a really, really important part of my journey. Just because there's not a lot of people that do exactly what we do. You know, like we're really filling a need.
I think too, something that sets Canada aside too is the medical system. Like it's very different from the States. So I don't know, that could be a tangent that we go on if you feel like talking about it. But
I think we should.
That was like a fear or like an obstacle or like I think it can be something that holds people back. And so
totally. And I can share my experiences on that definitely. But so now I operate as a virtual practitioner. I have no borders, which is amazing. I see clients everywhere that I can ship tests to, that I can ship supplements to, which is almost anywhere. Like we operate without borders. It's very freeing for sure. Because prior to that, I would be in a kind of like a pay per service kind of model where, you know, people would have to book they'll book a consult with me and then we would meet for a little while. And then it's going to be on them to get back into contact with me when they need more support. And a lot of people, what I've realized, Michelle, I know I'm not really talking about myself right now. I am talking about what I've noticed, but they're so intertwined is that, you know, what I have noticed is that people are pretty terrible at recognizing when they need support, when they need to be asking for help. And that is also part of my journey as a practitioner. And that's kind of what led me to the mentorship.
Many practitioners, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And so, you know, I knew that I had to change my model if I wanted to properly support individuals. I knew that if I wanted some lasting change, I couldn't leave it up to the client to get back in touch with me and reactivate their commitment to their own health. I knew that we would need to work in a longer program together where there's a lot more contact between me and them. We need to work more closely. I need to be their cheerleader. I need to be able to be accessible to them. And I couldn't do that in that model, that classic model that, you know, nutritionists sort of use. And then also furthermore, like nutritionists, like we do have a great handle on nutritional therapy. Nutritional therapy is one modality. There are so many other things that we need to be able to look at, to create lasting change in someone's life. And a lot of that, I would say, stems from the use of functional diagnostics and being able to accurately use data to determine, where we take a client, how we support them. In nutritional, like what I learned in school was very much symptomatology, which is excellent. You can draw a lot of information out of the way that people are displaying symptoms, but you can't get the full picture. And so I knew that if I wanted to make lasting change in someone's life, I needed data to inform my actions, and I needed a novel way of doing it that is not just nutritional therapy, which kind of just like that kind of probably segues beautifully into me finding the mentorship and being where I am, because in finding you, Michelle, because like you kind of gave me that opportunity to, change the trajectory of my business, which I knew I needed to change because I wasn't seeing the effects, and I wasn't seeing the benefits of working with clients. I could see them kind of falling off the bandwagon when we weren't working together. And in the end, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, am I really doing a service to these people if I'm making them dependent on me, where they have to be working with me actively in order to make lasting change in their life? Like I think I was just, before I would just be prescribing supplements and sending people on their way. And like, that is not the way, like we are so much more powerful than that. We need to be doing more than that.
Yeah.
Because isn't that just green
allopathy? Yeah.
Green allopathy. Exactly. Yeah. I was trying to find the word. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So you're saying like the point, because there's a point I think in every practitioner's practice or life or whatever, where they're like the pain gets to be the pain, whatever that is, or the discomfort becomes so strong that it's like, okay, a change needs to happen. So were you just kind of there and you were like working with your patients or your clients or whatever, and you were just like, I can't do this anymore, like something needs to shift, like something?
Well, yes. I mean, it was so apparent. Well, first of all, I was new in practice when I really, I mean, I have to say, I found this model in you and the mentorship at particularly the right time, because I did not spend too much of my career establishing a different type of model that I could already feel that I was out of alignment with.
Yeah.
Like you offered me a way, like the mentorship literally offered me a way to collapse that timeline and not make those mistakes.
You're just like, no. Like, I'm literally not going to waste like,
no, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to try. Like, I probably worked with a handful of clients, in that traditional way. And I already in my gut knew that something was off with it. I just did not feel right.
Yeah.
And they were falling off the bandwagon, and they were like, there was problems with, they just weren't getting the support that I promised them. And I was undercharging like for the hours and hours of protocol building. Like, okay, I'm charging them for their consult with me, but I was not charging for all of those behind the scenes, like hours, research, like all of that, and as a new practitioner, it's really, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And to look at that and be like, wow, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life.
Right. You're already starting to like build resentment. Even in your first handful of clients, you're just like, what the F am I doing? Like,
totally. And there was no feel-good story.
Exhausted. Yeah.
Exactly. Feeling tired, exhausted, like I knew that it didn't seem like I'd be able to make a living out of this. And although my intentions were so good, because the work did not give me the freedom, the financial kind of gain that would allow me to continue doing this good work, then like I knew that it was not going to be sustainable. So
and then you didn't have the client follow through, so you weren't getting like the results, and so you weren't getting that dopamine hit of like, oh my God, I'm making a change in the world or something.
No, I was just literally like, I mean, I have that kind of drive, and it was just me driving myself. That's it. I could infer, like my clients were not engaged with me. It's not that I was a bad practitioner. It's just that the
Mhm.
model did not support that level of engagement. The model does not support the outcomes that we know we can give our clients.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Digit.
Yeah. Yeah. I ditched it. I ditched it so dang fast. It was gone.
So how did how did the wealth mentorship help you? Like, what does it do for you? What did it provide for you?
It provided me, well, first of all, I mean, I knew in my gut that something needed to change. I just couldn't see it. I didn't
Mhm.
know what it was until I stepped into the mentorship. And then I had like, it, when you can see something that you've never really seen before, and you see the inner workings of that thing, and you can feel it coming to life, and you know that it's an actual thing that you can create for yourself, then you have this purpose, you have this clarity of your vision, you know how to create the thing that you're wanting, and it's like you never really realize how, like, I mean, for us, I think we're very resilient. Humans in general are very resilient, very resourceful. And I think we can keep on turning the same wheels over and over again. But what the mentorship offered me was the sightlines on a completely different reality. Something that
Hmm.
I knew that I wanted that I never really had seen before.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I see it, I can't unsee something. I can't
It's
unlearn
like
something.
it's like the story of the 4 minute mile.
That's right.
You're familiar, right? It's like you
Yeah.
like no one could get like the 4 minute mile, and then the one person broke it, and then it was like so many other people ended up doing it because it was like, oh, that's actually possible. Like I can do that,
That's
you
the
know?
thing. Like, and it's like, before I'd be sitting in my office by myself, no colleagues, no form of support, no understanding of what it is I'm trying to create, just the feeling that I could create something. Didn't know what it looked like, didn't know what would have to go into it. I didn't have best practices. I had no one to bounce ideas off of. So, like, all of these things are pretty much like that. That was completely reversed when I entered the mentorship, because I got a sense of community, I got accountability, I got someone to show me a path that has not, it was not just like, well, technically, academically, you can create this. Like, no, it was created, it was already done. So, like, if I just follow this formula, I'm going to get there myself. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it has been different for me. Like, I never had an existing practice. I didn't have, a bunch of like loyal patients or clients that were waiting for me to open my own practice. I didn't have that. And yes, I do operate in a Canadian setting where the landscape is very different, but the formula works.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a virtual practitioner, I'm not limited to only work with clients that are from Canada. I can
Mm-hmm.
easily like find people that are aligned with me from the US, from anywhere really. And it's just given me the chance to grow a business, an actual profitable business, and drive results that I dreamed of being able to drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Like it's so good. It's been so good, hard, but good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, right. They say it's simple but not easy, right? It's like it's like you've got the map, you've got the milestones, you've got the structure, foundations, all of the things. And like you said, it's like, everybody kind of gets there in their own way, and there is a specific journey, and like everyone has their own challenges. And like we mentioned earlier, like the Canadian healthcare system, you know, is I think a perceived challenge. And we also, chatted a lot about that, and we've chatted a lot about it, how like, people invest in what they value, right? Because there's this like perception of like, oh well, Canadians can get healthcare for like super cheap or free or whatever. And it's like, but what's the quality of the healthcare they're receiving? You know what I mean? And
Yep.
so yeah,
And
yeah.
also, I mean, in my previous model, Michelle, I was unable to really get the results that I knew I could get. So I couldn't paint a picture of what the transformation would be like for a client because I was never able to really achieve it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like now it's like, well, I have a 6-month program. Like I have the method that I will work intensely with clients, but I also have other offers that allow them to get an access to part of that transformation.
Mhm.
That, you know, these low, like these kind of smaller tier or like medium tier offerings
Mhm.
are making me like, first of all, if I were operating in that classic model, I would not have the capacity to offer myself so freely, like
Mhm.
to different clients, to people who
Oh,
might not be ready for a full, you know, transformative experience, but they want to have a win. They need a small win. They need to build some momentum. Like I can now do that because of the way that my practice is structured.
Yeah. I loved seeing your wings post the other day. What is it, on Friday
Right?
or whatever? Where you're like,
It was the
oh my
best.
God, wait, I'm out foraging mushrooms, and like I had like 3 people sign up for my program, and I was just like, yeah. That
Right?
is
Like
like the dream of just like being able to be out like living your life. Like,
it was the
like
best.
having this like amazing, fulfilling, exciting, like nourishing experience, and then being like, holy shit, I just like totally signed these these
I
clients.
got I was looking at a reishi mushroom. I was legit on the ground looking at a reishi mushroom and I got a ping on my phone and it was
Oh.
like so and so signed up for this program and I'm just like I'm looking at reishi mushrooms and I'm like getting the bag. You know, like I'm like what, how is that, you know, and it's so fulfilling because I know that person that signs up and like that happened twice more.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so
right? And
good.
it's like that person that signs up, I'm like they are seeing the value in how I can show up for them.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
are paying for what they value. I'm meeting them where they are. I'm able to do that because I have the capacity in this practice to do it
Right, you're giving
because
from
of the way that I
overflow
work.
instead of from sustenance.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. That's like insanely exciting. And then it's like, because you're coming from that place of overflow and excitement and nourished and like resilient and like restored place, like
Yeah.
it's exciting. It gets to be exciting, and you get to have that really cool feedback loop of just like, yes, and like more of this, please. Like this feels super
That's
good, you know? It's like,
so true. And like another thing that I have to mention before we like move on with the mentorship is that I actually have a full-time job, right?
mhm.
And I never knew, like, if I did not collapse that timeline and learn from all of the best practices, I would be spinning my wheels, experimenting, pulling my hair out because I have a whole other job. Like, this is giving me the fact that I didn't waste time doing the wrong things, that I had the support to ask questions, like be able to bounce things off of colleagues. Like it has scaled my business so much faster. Like I'm in the position to leave my day job, you know, like I can do that. I mean,
I love that you're in that position. And
yeah,
like,
like it,
I mean, that is like the definition of freedom, right? Whenever, like, I always think about this, like, freedom equals choice, right? It's like you get to choose now. Like, there's no obligation. And like, that is what I think is the most like expansive, freeing feeling of just like, whoa, now I get to like choose. And it's not from a place of scarcity or fear or
mm-hmm,
anxiety or anything like that. It's like
mm-hmm,
out of conscious, like I'm either choosing to stay here for now for X amount of days or months or whatever, or I'm choosing to leave or whatever. And it's like this really beautiful, clean decision. You know what I
totally.
mean?
And that's what it's offered me. Like, you know, that's a decision that I will be making in the coming months or like perhaps I will see like how things go, how I feel. Like I want like I do have that power to choose to create that cushion if I wanted to and that's why I'm kind of staying a little bit longer because I want a
Mhm.
nice cushion.
Mhm.
And it's like now I can do that because I'm seeing the people wanting to work with me. I have the demand. I'm building the demand, right?
Mhm.
So that when I do decide to go out and venture on this on my own without like having a second form of employment to support me, then I do have like people on like I'm going to open up an interest list soon for the second round of this program because I filled all the spots and then people are still messaging me being like, "Hey, like can we talk about this? You know,
That is
and
so
like,
exciting.
that's so cool, right?
It's so cool. It is so cool to be starting to build a wait list. Like, amazing. Amazing. Like,
I never
you
thought that
created
would
something
happen.
that's in alignment. That is
Yeah,
alignment.
totally.
I mean, that is alignment. That's like you embodying really like the work that excites you, right? And like providing a service that is really like in alignment with your unique gifts, right? And people can feel that embodiment, which is why they're more magnetized to you.
That is so
You know?
true. And it's like, that's the other thing. I mean, like in my experience, it's like the people that the first people, at least in my experience, the people who invested me first were people who have always been in my network.
Mhm.
They've always been in my network and they've always been curious about what it is that I was doing, but it wasn't until I started being totally like fitting into that aligned spot, offering things that were from my heart,
Mhm.
offering things that like were within my capacity to offer, and getting transformations that I can say, hey, I can assure you that you're going to get this transformation if we work closely together, because I know it. I mean, like I've done it on my own for myself, like,
Mhm.
so I'm just kind of like templating and being able to repeat a proven method.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to be able to like that's the value of the mentorship for me, really, was like setting the behind the scenes of my business, like getting things automated to a certain degree where I have systems in place where, I know how I'm going to onboard a client. Sometimes it takes only a few clicks from me. Like I don't have to, reinvent the wheel every single time I build a protocol. Like there are certain
Mhm.
things that are common for a lot of clients that I just, so like it's just like simple things like that just reduce time and
Yeah.
allow me to really show up for my client, to listen to them, to hold space for them, to like think outside the box for them, because I'm not busy just doing all of the admin.
Mhm.
And I do that all with a full-time job. Like, you know what I mean? Like we have to be smart about the way that we work. And the mentorship totally helped me be smart about the way that I work.
Yes. Yes. I mean, that's like work smarter, not harder, right?
Totally. Yeah. And like I call it, like, for me, I call it the lazy girl method. Like I'm just all about I'm all I'm all about the lazy girl method. Like I just want, I mean, I want to show up for people. I want to make an impact. And I don't want to have to like lift too heavy to do it. Like
Oh my God, is that like trademarked? I
I don't
feel
know,
like that could be like a second business, like an
the
offshoot
lazy
business.
girl method.
Maybe that's our jungle project.
Oh, that is our jungle. That could be our jungle project. There's a
Lazy girl
backstory to
method.
that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh. So
Is there
good.
anything else that you want to share? Like any other like anything else about like what you're doing and how you're operating? I know you're doing things a little bit differently because you do
I
have the
am.
different tiers. I don't know if you
Yeah.
want to chat about that
Well,
or
but that's the thing. I mean, like, when you get the basics down,
Mhm.
like when you get like a method, when you get given like this path that's so clear, and like that's what you offered me, right? Is like you gave me the vision, you gave me the path. So then I was able, and also because of the alignment that I found, like you had us identify what our values are, you had us identify what our vision is, what our why is. Like now I have these kind of like tools where I can say, okay, based on the path that was laid out before me, based on my wishes and my alignment and my value, where can I pivot or what can I change to make this work for my surroundings right now? Like I
Mhm.
had that
Mhm.
empowerment. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't prescriptive. Like what the mentorship offers is not prescriptive. You don't sit there and hand us all the answers to everything. Like you
Mhm.
teach us, you help us to realize the innate ability that we all have. We're
I
independent.
value resourcefulness in
Yes,
others and like anybody I interact with is like I value resourcefulness.
you
It's
do.
a life skill. Like it really is. But
Figure it out.
I
Yeah.
love that you say that because that's so true and that's really my goal. It's like I have like you said like I show you guys all the behind the scenes, all the financial stuff, all the system structures, templates to hand out, like protocols, like everything. And it's also like your like baby. Like you're creating this thing to make it yours, like to
Mm-hmm.
really put your special sauce. Cause like that's where the magnetism happens. Is like when you infuse your specific essence. And so by tweaking and refining and like molding it into like the thing that is truly aligned with you, that's what like boom, like that's what kind of
Mm,
I feel like
yes.
creates the expansion really, or like the spark. You know what I'm saying? Like it like
Yes.
that's the key
Well,
part. And
that's what also differentiates you from other practitioners in the space. Like a lot of people feel like I mean, I remember walking into the mentorship being like, okay, this could define me because I feel like it's saturated or like whatever.
Mhm.
The truth of the matter is that like no one can do things the way that you do it. There's no other you. And when
Yep.
you are not like caught up in the having to do the behind the scenes and all of this stuff, like the systems and whatever, because it's being given to you, then you have the expansive ability to put your touch
Yes.
on something, to change it, to make it yours, to like, give your clients, the people who are magnetized to you, the ability to
Mhm.
get to get
Yeah.
you, what you
Yeah.
bring. And like, that's why, like, I don't feel like there's competition. I don't. Like, I don't feel like there's any scarcity around this
Yeah.
because I'm literally just calling in people who resonate with me. And it's slow going. I'm not saying it happens overnight. Like I've worked hard, like you taught us to as well, and like you encouraged us to, right? I've worked hard. I'm still working, and it's not where I want it to be. Like, but it's also I love what I'm seeing so far.
Mhm.
I love what I'm getting so far, and like
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's like, I guess the more important things is like, yeah, you're going to need to be resourceful and you have to realize that like the work needs to be done. But there's so much resource here for you to use to build on.
Mhm.
Um, and like you have a daytime job, like, and this is your side hustle, like that's not a reason to
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
join, like that's not a reason to
Totally.
not do the work. Like you can do it because of all of that.
Mhm. Mhm. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had people, I mean, Casey, like Casey was doing a hospital job
Oh
for,
my
like
gosh.
and hating it so bad. And then like she was able to transition out of that. And that's a
Oh
story for
yeah.
a lot of practitioners who are in there in a position working at least one job, sometimes two. I think Mar was working three when she was in mentorship.
Oh
But
my
like,
God.
like it's doable and it is the vehicle to exit, the things that
Yep.
you don't want to be doing.
Totally, totally. And to step into our purpose, right? Like not to
Mhm.
be cliche, but it's like it allows us to step into our purpose.
Mhm.
It gives us the ability to choose to say no to things that are no longer serving us or things that we're kind of spending more energy on
Mhm.
that might not be of as much impact. But like now we can be impactful with our days. And
Mhm.
it's just it's such an honor to be able
Mhm.
to do that in a way that supports us too. I mean, like
Yeah, that's a huge part too,
that's a
right? It's like
huge
being
part.
able to take care of yourself, walking the talk as a practitioner, being able to show up for your partner or your kids or friends or like family or whatever, in addition to doing the work and being a service provider. I see
Yeah.
too many practitioners, I'm sure you have too, that are just like totally depleted, right? They're not healthy
Oh my
themselves.
gosh.
And it's like they're like just running themselves into the ground. They can't show up for anybody else.
That's the worst. That is absolutely the worst. And also, like, who are you inspiring? Who are you inviting then?
Right.
Like who are
Like, what
you
does that mean
able?
that you're actually investing into your clients too at that point, right? It's like
Yeah,
it's a lose 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 situation. We like win
totally.
win 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 win
Yeah, we
situations.
like win win win. Exactly. And we like foraging for mushrooms and seeing
Yes.
signups. Like,
Yeah.
we're all about that life of flexibility. So, I mean, I think yeah, for me, I mean, I'm just focusing on my virtual practice. I'm going to be, looking for ways where I can make more of an impact to individuals that are wanting a full transformative like kind of approach to health, or if they're wanting to get their feet wet in a gentle way. I'm finding ways where I can give them that.
Mhm.
So, and I'm also thinking like again, like because of all of the structure and and the stuff that I know now because of the mentorship, it's like I'm looking to kind of niche down further. And it's like, I don't feel like I need to hire another coach, like necessarily to help me through that process, because you have created so much sort of like, you put so much systems in the place of my business that I can easily revisit that and like re-niche and create more offers, and like it just flows. Like these things are just meant to be applied over and over again. And
I love that you said that, because that is so true, and that's like really how it's meant to be organized as well. It's like, are you
okay.
pivoting your niche? Like, do you want to pivot your niche? Because some people, as you know, like they dive in and they're like, oh, actually, I don't want to work with that niche anymore. Like that's not really feeling fulfilling. And then it's like you have the flexibility to be like, cool, I'm going to test out this niche, and then the whole process is there to really refine that and like define that niche, and then going into the offer creation and all of that stuff. But you're right, it's like, and what's crazy too is like this whole process actually works for any online business, right? It doesn't necessarily like, yes, we infuse all kinds of stuff that's practitioner specific, health industry specific, and the basics, like the foundational pillars are like, you could build any business with that,
Yeah, it's the same model. Like the same model that we use to create a 6-month program is the exact same model that I went and created smaller offers with, offers that, like you're getting a system. You're not getting, like, you're just getting a system that can be applied. And with the confidence that, I was able to build in the mentorship, like in my own ability, I'm able to like courageously just take that template and apply it, and take that system and apply it and change it. And like, because I know that this is what I'm meant to do. Like, I know that this is within my power to do. It changes you, that kind of confidence. It does. It's so good. Juicy stuff.
Amazing. Thank you so much for
My
taking the
pleasure.
time and hanging out and sharing and all of this. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for like what is unfolding and what will continue to unfold. So
Yeah. Thank you so much. Uh yeah, this has completely been like a life change for me. Totally life-changing experience. Because it's like giving me a chance to live out my values and like have that every day. Like I don't think that's available to a lot of people.
or at least people think it's not available to.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's wild to think about how many people are actually like sitting around and sitting in jobs that are completely unfulfilling, right?
And that's
it's
the
just
thing.
like,
It's like, I think, yeah, I think that a lot of people, again, with the resilience of people, we try and make things work. And we can. It normally takes a toll somewhere, and it's either a toll on ourselves or our impact.
yes.
And like,
It's kind of like eating fast food, right? It's like the body can be resilient to like eating fast food, right? But like what's actually happening over time?
What are we doing?
Yeah, like what are we doing over time?
What are we paying? And it's like
what is actual cost?
Yeah,
Right.
and like, why did I want to? Like, I knew that I didn't want to see the answer to that question in my body, in my business. I didn't want to wait around to see that. Like I want something that I can continue building in alignment with me and creating impact within and changing people's lives. Like that's yeah, that wasn't going to happen the way that things were going. So this is the pattern interrupt, as you always say. Like you need a pattern interrupt. This is the wake up call that a lot of people feel like it's out of access. You're right. I think your correction was right to that. Like a lot of people, it's not that it's not accessible, it's just that they think that it's not for them or they can't. But I was like a prime example of a person who did not think that it was for them. Like again, no clientele, no existing practice, full-time job. Still learning. And it's working. Like, yeah, I realized otherwise in the mentorship.
Where can people find you if they want to hang out with you or see your beautiful Instagram?
Ooh. Yeah, Instagram is a good place. Definitely message me or connect with me on Instagram. I love hanging out there. It's at your.well.ness. And I'm always on there chatting about, right now it's blood sugar. I'm talking about blood sugar and metabolic health, because what is not related to metabolic health? So yeah, if you want to chat all of that with me and how it intersects with our hormones and how it intersects with our gut and how it intersects with our stress and our resilience, then that's where to find me. Thank you so much, Michelle. It was so nice chatting with you.
All right, that's a wrap for today. If you want the exact breakdown of how I help practitioners go from their first 5K to consistent 50K months with just 2 offers, 10 hours per week, and an audience of less than 500 people, be sure to click the link in the podcast description or head to wealthywoman.co/breakdown. To make sure you don't miss an episode, be sure to subscribe. And for daily online practice insights, follow me on Instagram at wealthywoman.co. Let's create your life of wealth, full of abundance, purpose, health, wealth, and joy.